Hello everyone, welcome back to Timeless History Tales. Today we have a truly unique and fascinating topic to delve into. We're going to explore the untold stories and unseen footage of the USSR's collapse. Buckle up because this is going to be an eye-opening journey into history. Birth of the Soviet Union. The birth of the Soviet Union, spanning from 1922 to 1939, was a multifaceted period characterized by pivotal political, economic, and social transformations. The genesis lay in the October Revolution of 1917, where the Bolsheviks, spearheaded by Vladimir Lenin, toppled the provisional government, establishing Soviet power in Russia. The ensuing Russian Civil War 1918-1922 witnessed the triumph of the Red Army, led by Leon Trotsky, paving the way for the formation of the Soviet Union. On December 30, 1922, the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic, Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, Belarusian SSR, and Transcaucasian CFSR officially united to form the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics USSR. Lenin's new economic policy in the early 1920s temporarily embraced elements of capitalism to revive the Soviet economy. Lenin's demise in 1924 initiated a power struggle, leading to Joseph Stalin's ascendancy. Stalin's leadership saw the implementation of the first five-year plan 1928-1932, emphasizing rapid industrialization and collectivization of agriculture, with subsequent consequences such as famine and resistance. The Great Purge 1936-1938 witnessed Stalin's ruthless elimination of perceived rivals within the Communist Party. In 1939, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was signed, a non-aggression agreement with Nazi Germany, setting the stage for World War II. World War II, the period from 1939 to 1953, witnessed the confluence of World War II and the inception of the Cold War, shaping the course of global history in profound ways. World War erupted in 1939 with Germany's invasion of Poland, marking the beginning of a conflict involving major Allied and Axis powers. The early stages saw German military successes through blitzkrieg tactics, and Japan's expansion in the Pacific led to the United States entering the war after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. Key turning points, such as the Battle of Stalingrad and the D-Day invasion, altered the course of the conflict. The Holocaust, a heinous genocide perpetrated by the Nazis, claimed the lives of millions. Post-war conferences at Yalta and Potsdam defined the division of Germany and set the stage for the emergence of the US and the Soviet Union as superpowers. The dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 hastened Japan's surrender. The subsequent Cold War, characterized by ideological rivalry between the US and the Soviet Union, led to the Truman Doctrine and the Marshall Plan. Winston Churchill's Iron Curtain speech underscored the division between the democratic West and the communist East. The Korean War 1950-1953, a proxy conflict between the two superpowers, ended in an armistice, solidifying the division of the Korean Peninsula. This era of upheaval and transformation left an indelible mark on the geopolitical landscape, setting the stage for decades of Cold War tensions. Before we continue with our journey, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell not to miss future videos every week. But now let's get back at the video. Khrushchev's Thaw and Cuban Missile Crisis. The period going from 1953 to 1964 stands as a pivotal chapter in Cold War history, marked by Khrushchev's Thaw and the harrowing Cuban Missile Crisis. Following Joseph Stalin's demise in 1953, Nikita Khrushchev assumed leadership, ushering in the Thaw era characterized by a relative easing of political repression and cultural constraints in the Soviet Union. Khrushchev's secret speech in 1956 candidly denounced Stalin's repressive policies, setting the tone for a significant departure from the Stalinist legacy. The establishment of the Warsaw Pact in 1955 solidified Soviet influence over Eastern Bloc nations in response to NATO. Meanwhile, the Cuban Revolution led by Fidel Castro in 1959 shifted Cuba towards socialism, aligning it with the Soviet Union. The failed Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961 and the construction of the Berlin Wall the same year heightened Cold War tensions. However, the apex of crisis came in 1962 with the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the discovery of Soviet missiles in Cuba brought the US and the Soviet Union perilously close to nuclear conflict. Diplomatic negotiations averted catastrophe, resulting in the removal of missiles from Cuba and a secret agreement to withdraw US missiles from Turkey. The Limited Test Ban Treaty in 1963 further reflected efforts to mitigate nuclear tensions. This period exemplifies the intricate geopolitical dynamics and high-stakes brinkmanship that defined the Cold War era. Brezhnev Era and Deten, the Brezhnev Era, extending from 1964 to 1982, epitomized a period of leadership under Leonid Brezhnev following the turbulent Khrushchev era. Marked by political stability, Brezhnev's leadership oversaw what became known as the era of stagnation, characterized by economic challenges and inefficiencies in the Soviet Union. Despite internal struggles, this era coincided with the policy of détente, a significant development in the Cold War. Détente, lasting from the late 1960s to the 1970s, aimed to ease tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union. Strategic arms limitation talks Altai in 1972 resulted in agreements such as the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty and the Interim Agreement on the Limitation of Strategic Offensive Arms. The Helsinki Accords in 1975 aimed to improve relations in Europe and included commitments to human rights. However, détente faced challenges with the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979, leading to increased Cold War tensions. The Brezhnev Doctrine, articulated in 1968, asserted Soviet intervention rights in socialist countries, deviating from communism. The Saltai talks in 1979 further aimed to limit strategic arms, but faced obstacles due to the Soviet-Afghan conflict. Brezhnev's death in 1982 marked the end of his era, paving the way for a period of leadership transition in the Soviet Union. Gorbachev's reforms and the collapse. The period from 1982 to 1991 witnessed a profound transformation under Mikhail Gorbachev's leadership, characterized by his far-reaching reforms and the eventual collapse of the Soviet Union. Gorbachev's ascent in 1985 marked a departure from previous leadership, and his policies of perestroika and glasnost aimed at reforming the Soviet economy and promoting political openness. President Ronald Reagan symbolized a significant step towards arms reduction during the Cold War. Gorbachev's reforms triggered political changes in the Eastern Bloc, epitomized by the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 and the subsequent reunification of East and West Germany. The end of the Cold War saw diplomatic efforts, including negotiations, leading to the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty start. In August 1991, a failed coup attempt by hardline communists weakened the Soviet government. Gorbachev's resignation in December 1991 marked the formal dissolution of the Soviet Union. The creation of the Commonwealth of Independent States by former Soviet republics signaled the end of an era. Boris Yeltsin's rise to power in Russia marked a new chapter, underscoring the complex transition from the Soviet Union to a new geopolitical landscape. As we reflect on this pivotal historical moment, we encourage you to engage further with our content. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, please take a moment to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of key historical events.